Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Tortoise, the A39. It's a tier 9 British assault tank. It's located on the south spawn of Lakeville Encounter and it's under the command of Marquis 12. Game started. Well, this tank comes with a variety of guns. Starts off with the 32 pounder, which is a tier 8 gun. Then you get the 20 pounder. Is it 20 pounder? I think it is. And after that you get the 120mm gun, which I think is the one that this one's carrying. Yes, it is the 120mm, 400 alpha, penetrating 259mm with standard ammo, and it goes up to 326 with the premium rounds. And that makes a big difference because it can do a hell of a lot of damage. And he's getting a bit of an assist here from the E75, which is very kind of him because the Tortoise is notoriously slow. Now, they only built 5 of these, and one of them's in the Tank Museum at Bovington, and it's well worth a visit. I'd definitely go and have a look at it. In fact, I did have a good look at it, and I couldn't believe how wide this thing was. Incredibly wide. And it must have been a major concern for the British military how the hell they were going to get these things to cross certain bridges in Europe when they're quite narrow. Because this thing was built with the super tanks in mind. Firstly, the Tigers, because it was they started designing it in the 1940s, and then the Soviet tanks afterwards. Okay, his first target's arrived. He bounced around from the Object 432. Fired one back, got a hit, and he's tracked him, but yeah, they're bugging out. They don't want to face a Tortoise. They know the damage that this gun can do. He's running away, but he's still going to take around in his ass as he runs. The Pershing, he was tracked. This guy's going to take around as well. One up his lower plate, 386. Look at the hole it makes. Absolutely enormous. And he takes around through the side. It automatically went straight through, even though it was angled. And the AMX 51-100 took around as well, 435, a high roll. He's going to go down next shot. Yep, he's out of the game. First kill. It's an absolutely devastating assault tank, and you should play it as an assault tank. That is, try and deal as much damage to the enemy by being up front. It's not a tank destroyer that cowers at the back, hiding in bushes. No, this thing gets in your face and eat that shell. He's using the corner at the moment because he knows there's enemy just around the corner. There's an Object 432 and a T-30 just bounced around off him as well. So he's blocked a big hit. If he comes around the corner, he's obviously going to get another big round, but he's going to take that Pershing out sooner or later. Just waiting for the right moment. Ow! Now that was the ISU 152 and he just fired an HE round at us. Okay, well, we're blocking the E50, but the E50's gone around the corner to deal with that Object 432, which means now we can move up on the ISU. And we put an AP round into him, and he didn't like that. 467, a high roll. Now the Pershing, he's out the game. The 432 has had to pull back. He's, well, in fact, actually, I think he's dead. And the T-30 wants to move forward. We're blocking him. We'll let him go. There you go, you go. That's it, Marquis let them go. Now the reason Marquis actually turning round is because there's enemy back near our spawn point. You can see he took that HE round from the ISU 152 very close to the weak point, which is that turret on the back on the left hand side. Yeah, that's the loader's turret, I believe. And so often in battle the loader will go down and you have to put him back in again quickly. Okay, he's got shots on, or did have shots on one of the enemy there, but lost sight of him. Oh, KV4's come back into sight. Can he get a shot? Yes, he can. He's actually going to go for the one behind, but he actually hits the KV4 and kills him. Now, can he get the T-30? He needs that. Oh, Amarak, he lost his turret. And now the T-49 with the Shillelagh missile is getting into action. The derp T-49. We actually found out one of our members actually contacted us and told us that he actually was a tank operator, or rather a commander, I believe, of the T-49 when it was in action, and he told us about the operations with the Shillelagh missile. And it wasn't the Shalani missile that was responsible for damaging the tank, and it didn't blow up in the breach. It actually tended to pre-explode, or if the nose of the missile was damaged, because obviously it would, after the missile was fused, it would automatically explode because it thought it hit its target. Well, he's got 4 kills after taking out the Type 4, and I've been talking whilst he's been doing the work, but they are actually 3 tanks down on the enemy. They're outnumbered 2-1. There's an enemy tank coming up over the rise. It's a T-30, puts one into his ass. It's a high roll for 427. The T-30 is trying to get a shot back at him. He fires another one back. The fire rate on the Tortoise is very, very good. He's got the high caliber. If he can sustain this, another round in. The T-30 is now 1 shot. He must be worried. He's turned his front to us, but that won't help him. He's out the game. That's even the odds a little. Well, not really, because it's now 2 against 5. So the odds have actually got worse. And they are capping with 2 in the cap. So I think what they're going to do is Marky's going to go back to the cap and try and finish these guys off. Wheelie takes a round for 390, which is a low roll, but he doesn't want to face a Tortoise, and all he can do is fire a round into our tracks. Now 2 of them are trying to get behind us to get at the T-49. The T-49 on the enemy team coming around this way. I feel our T-49 just going to get derped. There's only 1 person in the cap at the moment. It is an encounter, so it does take longer. But Marky's now got to try and win this game against 4 enemy tanks. He takes out the T-49. Now goes for the Pantera, trying to turn as quickly as he can. It's a very slow turn, but it's got a fast reload, and the Pantera is going to take a lot of damage. That was a fire. He did take fire. The Pantera is a 1 shot and is now dead. It's now 1 versus 2. Better odds. Full of action, this game. He's got 6,000 hit points of damage, or 6.1 at the moment. He's blocked 2.2k of damage. And the enemy is capping. Now, they've only got 1 Arty and an ISU 152 in the cap. And that's the same ISU, I think, that he fired at earlier. Or did they have another one? I think it is the same one, actually. He's still alive. Unless it was the SU-152. No, there isn't an SU-152. It must be the same guy. So he's already fired 1 round into this guy. So we know he's low on hit points. Okay, he's going to go down here. Now, the guy stopped capping. I think he's trying to set up a defensive position so he can attack Marky as soon as he appears. No. The enemy RT is an SU-14-2, the school bus, tier 8. I forgot to mention at the start of this game, it's a tier 9 battle with tier 8 tanks in it. There's the school bus. Oh, he doesn't kill him with 1 shot, but he can ram him to death. Does he want to ram him? No, he's just going to fire. There you go. That's a Radley's. Now, who's next? The ISU-152. Well, he's got to come into the cap to deal with it. And of course, because it's an ISU-152, he's going to have to face Marky. He can't leave it. He can't not come into the cap. From this position, there's only a few ways that he can come in. Marky's facing the direction he thinks that the enemy's going to come from. If the enemy was smart enough, they would have left actually going south. So they would have, that's the direction he thinks he's going to come back in from. And it might be that the ISU-152 is, yes, he did go that way and he was right, but Marky's wasn't really fully aware of what was going on there. ISU did get in, turned to face him, but couldn't get his gun down, I think, gun depression. But there's no such problem with the Tortoise. And that's it. Game over. You only need a smidgen of armor to fire at, and he got it. What a great game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats and see how well Marky did. It's an ace tanker for Marky 12 in the Tortoise, the tier 9 terror from Britain. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 14, a duelist, a fire for effect and a shell proof out of the minor medals. Out of the epics and the battle heroes, he managed to get a Radley Walters medal for killing 8 of the enemy. He got 9 in the end, just one short of getting that pulse medal. A steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and finally a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. That was one hell of a game it was. Let's have a look at team score. 7,085 hit points of damage. He definitely carried his team in that one, no problem at all. And the next highest scorer was the Skoda T50 on his team with 3,553. And the highest one after that was the Pantera on the enemy team. And of course, as you saw, he dealt with the Pantera. He actually set him alight with one of his shells and then obviously put a round right up his ass as he departed, realizing that it was all over. When it came to kills, it was Marky again with 9, 4 for the Pantera, 3 for the Skoda T50. And when it came to base XP, yes, he's got the top in all 3 columns, 1,705 base experience points. That's a very good ace tanker for this vehicle. The next highest scorer only had 998, that was the Skoda T50, and 758 for the E75 TS. Highest scorer on the enemy team was that Pantera with 694. Marky fired 29 rounds in the game, got 26 direct hits and 23 penetrations. Pretty good accuracy, and shows as well that the standard shells on the Tortoise are pretty devastating. Damage of 7,085 hit points, of which 1,881 were at more than 300 meters. Those are the shots he was firing towards the T30 and the KV4. 12 hits received from the enemy, 2 of which penetrated, 9 non-penetrations, and 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. Damage of 2,270 hit points in total, blocked, 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 13 enemy vehicles damaged, and 9 kills. So there was only 2 vehicles in the game he never even touched. But the others, yes, all the others he actually hit and did damage to. 240 hit points of damage assistance, and he got 30 capture points whilst he was in the cap. On a premium count, he earned 57,422 credits for that game, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 46,253 credits. So what replays is not telling us something about what else was in there. 1,705 XP, 15,348 from personal missions payout, and took away 17,906 experience points altogether. So a definite good carry there by Marky, and a very high ace tanker in terms of XP score. That was very, very good indeed, and he held on even when everyone else was falling around him, and he had the coolness to actually recognise that there was a serious problem on the south, that the enemy was coming around to our spawn point, and took the opportunity to move to a position where he could intercept those tanks as they were approaching the town. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel please, and thank you for watching.